Welcome to this quick overview of OneNote for educators. Now, if you haven't used OneNote, it is an incredible tool for note-taking. And you can get into OneNote very simply. You can come over here and click on OneNote in your Office 365 dashboard. And what OneNote will do is it's going to essentially perhaps create a take you to the notebook view. Now notice that you have all the notebooks that you may have created, your notebooks that you own, and then any notebooks that are shared with you, as well as any class notebooks. Now, on all of this, I don't see a place to create a notebook. So where do you go to create a notebook? Well, I don't know if you remember, but when we were talking about OneDrive, you may have noticed that there was a place where you could go create a OneNote notebook. Now, this is a really neat feature because what you can do is just come up to New, go down to OneNote Notebook, and it's going to create a notebook right here in this space. Now, if I wanted to organize this ahead of time, let me just close that. Maybe I'm going to create a folder and grade level team planning. I didn't put any spaces in there. It's a habit of mine, but you can certainly put spaces in there. Grade level team planning. Notice that there's no spaces after the name because that would not work. If I click on create, it's creating a notebook. It created a folder called grade level team planning. And in here, now this is where I'm going to create a OneNote notebook. And I like to organize this way. I like to create a folder where I'm going to put all my content related to a particular topic. So I'm going to click on OneNote Notebook and Lesson Plans. This is where I'm going to want to be able to share my lesson plans with the grade level team. Now, when you create a notebook, you can see that we're actually in what's called OneNote Online. And this is a pretty neat and powerful feature because they are constantly adding great new things to OneNote Online. They're trying to make it as full-featured as possible. But if you are using OneNote, you're going to probably want to open in OneNote. That is, there's actually an app that's on your Windows 10 computer or your Mac computer. But on Windows 10, it's called OneNote. And that app will give you even more functionality and features. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. We're not going to do a complete overview of OneNote because I think that's beyond the scope of a short 20-minute video. But as you can see, if I come over here, I have an untitled section, lesson plans, untitled page. So one way to organize lesson plans, especially with a grade level team, I always like to create sort of a welcome section or a start section. And so I've created a start section, and here I'm going to say welcome. And in the welcome, I'd say, thank you for reviewing third grade lesson plans. Use the section headers to find lesson plans for each week. Okay, now that's pretty plain and boring. I'm just going to sort of try to liven it up a little bit. I'm going to make the text bigger because, it just fills up the space a little bit. And I would love to drop in some pictures. So I can get pictures off the internet. So I'm just going to open up a quick tab here and type in lesson plans. Click on images for my search, and I've got all these pictures here. And this is a really nice one. But I just remembered, if I go to online pictures, these pictures are copyright friendly. So I don't have to worry about citing them and worrying about copyright infringement. So I click on lesson plan, and here's all these lesson plan formats and pictures that are related. So I'm just looking for something very simple like this particular lesson plan book will work just fine. I'm going to click on insert, and it's going to drop that picture right in. So at that point, I can just resize it, and that will give me a nice picture that's a little bit big. It's a little pixelated in the sense that the bigger I make it, the blurrier it gets. But I think that's a nice beginning. And then now I can come back over here, and you notice that in this first bar, this first column, I have section. And this is where I can add section, and this will allow me to add more content here and organize it. So I click on section, and I say, what's the section name? Well, I like to organize lesson plans by week. So I'm just going to say week 1, so the first week of school. And then I could come in and add an additional section, week 2, week 3. And remember, you can put in dates or whatever works best for you. And so now, if I come up here to week 1, I can change the name of this untitled page. And this might be Gulen. And then if I wanted to add an additional page, this could be Vega. If I added another page, this could be Roberts. And so this is where all the lesson plans, so Gulen, Vega, and Roberts, we're all sharing this particular OneNote notebook, and we can come in and actually put in our lesson plans. And we share this with our administrator or instructional guide or coach, then they would be able to see all of our lesson plans organized by week, etc. Now, one other thing that we can do here, well, actually quite a few other things that we can do, is that we can add content to this. So remember when I was looking at all these lesson plan formats? I'm just going to come over here and grab one at random. Let's see if I can find one. No. So here is a lesson plan that's actually in Microsoft Word, and it's actually opening up Microsoft Word on the side. So what I can do is just copy and paste that lesson plan format right into my OneNote. Now, if you can see that it's dropped it right in, I can come in and type in a lesson plan title, subject, teacher, whatever. Now, if I wanted to, and I don't like the way this is laid out, I can also come in and just create a table. And as you can see, I'm just making the spaces. So this is just a very simple lesson plan form. Now, once we have a lesson plan form identified, if you want to, you can just copy the contents of that and just drop it into on other pages. And you can see I just copied and pasted that. If you have an existing one, you can come in and right-click on a particular page, copy, go to a different section, and then paste it in, and you'll see that that's there now. So pretty powerful tools here. Now, what's also kind of neat is that I can insert forms and stickers. So there's all these awesome stickers that appear as a part of OneNote Online. There are tons more in the OneNote app. which we'll get to in a little bit. There's also, these are education resources, and this is more of information that you can take advantage of that's been provided here. Now, if you haven't played around with Microsoft Forms, you can create a OneNote notebook for your students and embed actual forms to collect information from either staff or students or just survey data that people can access. Some of the other neat features of OneNote include, of course, the ability to type. You can also select, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually a pen right here, and I can pick whatever color I want. Lots of different colors, and of course, there's even more colors in the online version. And then you can actually create pictures. Now, in the app, there's like I said, a lot more features, and we'll go through those in just a bit. Now, just like in other Office tools, there's Immersive Reader. So when I click on Immersive Reader, it takes my page and it will make it easy to read. So
lesson plan title, subject, teacher, grade.
So imagine if you had a long night ahead of you as an administrator, sort of reviewing teacher lesson plans, or if you're a teacher and you're reviewing student work, you can actually have it read things to you. If you're grading student writing, it would be able to read that student writing to you. So a really powerful tool here. So this is OneNote Online. You have your print options, which is there's not quite a bit there. Our next video will focus on opening it in OneNote. And so when you open in OneNote, you're going to see a lot more features, especially in the Insert, Draw, and View. Thanks for watching this quick overview of OneNote Online.